In God we trust. In God we trust is an anagram. In God we trust is an anagram for Tower G, which is a 7, in dust. And in this day and age, that sure has a lot of meaning. That sure has a whole lot of meaning. But that phrase, in God we trust, it's been there for almost 100 years. Probably longer. I'm just thinking about the current print of the $1 bill. It's been there a very long time. How is it that they could be so prophetic with their false prophets of filthy lucre? Well, one thing I can point out is that the 16th card of the tarot deck is the Tower card. The 16th letter, we talked about this already. That's the letter P. 16 is the letter P. 7 is G. GP. 7-7. So, the Tower, 7, in dust. I just wanted to point that out because many Gnostic belief systems will tell you that the languages of the world still to this day represent in a very beautiful, highly Gnostic way, the languages of the world today still represent the Tower of Babel, in that in the West, our language goes from west to east. And in the East, language goes from the east to the west. And in the center mark, where that tower once stood, the language in that location, at the original center mark, it goes back and forth. The language does this. Indicating that you are in the center of the world, that is the chosen location for the Tower of Babel, and that when it fell out in two directions, and that's why people were in opposition. The polarity, the cathode and the anode, were established, and that our labors, our languish, is building it back again, slowly over time. There's a lot to be said, a lot to think about with that. So this framework of bidirectional text is called Boustrophedon. And it means as the ox plows. It means, the ox goes to the end of the field, it drops, it comes to the next row, drops, and goes to the next row. Right, left, left, right, left, right. Aramaic, I spelled that wrong. Aramaic, Syrian, Phoenician, and Hebraic. It's a hybrid of the three. Aramaic still uses Boustrophedon, back and forth, as the ox plows. And this word, this term, this concept is absolutely mind-boggling to me because it goes back to Mercury. And the first day Mercury was born, he took the oxes on that caper and led them on a zigzag back and forth and led Apollo on a bit of a, shall we say, scavenger hunt. And he had to reconstruct the story in court before all the gods. So I just want to put that little piece of mythos into everybody's mind as we conquer the magical square of the moon. So one day I learned about the magical squares, and the fella teaching the course, he said that if you ponder the magical square long enough, the mysteries of the universe will reveal themselves to you. And I'll be darned if over time I didn't start to apply my knowledge of numerology. And when I put my concepts of numerology and overlaid it onto a magical square of the moon, I got this. So I began to meditate on this to see what patterns I might find. And lo and behold, when you reduce every one of these boxes, these are the same squares. I've just used numerology to reduce all these numbers. And when you, real quick before I go there, when you take any combination of these numbers, this diagonal or that diagonal, you get the sacred 369. Anybody who knows about Tesla, anybody who knows about vortex math, that should get your riles up a little. Diagonally 369, vertically 369, horizontally 369. That goes for every possible combination. What would that be? 18, 19, 20. 20 different ways to do that. All of them will give you 369. And we'll get into vortex math next. So 9 times 9, we all know 81. 8 plus 1, what? Gives you 9. You know, we're doing vortex math technology here. Pretty basic, pretty fundamental. But ain't that something? A whole lot of 9s going on. You know, after we do vortex math, we'll get into the Enneagram. Enneagram is the graph of the 9. And that word, the 9, might mean something to some of you as well. So anyways, we reduced all the numbers and we put them back into their position over here on this graph. And first of all, you get 45. Diagonal, vertical, horizontal, 45. Well, you add 4 and 5, you get 9. You add 3, 6, and 9, that's 9 plus 9, 18. 18 brings you back to 9. So this is the reason why I posit the word any is the word enea, 9 in Greek. That is why this technology can sustain cross-culturally over time. It is perpetuated in our language, and to a very significant degree, it is almost immortal in its own right. Now, before I get to the final decode that really blew my mind, I had to walk away once I found this. I do not know what I've discovered, and I invite all of you to tell me what you think I may have come across here. But 3, 6, and 9 adds to 18, adds up to 9 in numerological reduction. 4 plus 5 equals 9, right? Probably already saw that. But there are some very special 4s and 5s in the world. There's the 4, and there's a 5. That's Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn equal the 9. And what all of this points to me, is some of the very significant mythology of the moon. And I won't go too far. I'm not going to go off the deep end today. But there are some mysteries hidden in this image. Pull up a magical square of the moon and stare at it yourself. Find some of the patterns that are going on here. And I'll give you a clue. And a lot of people won't like my clue. But it has to do with the hill of Golgotha. Has to do with the scene that is laid out in your mind's eye. If you can hold the scene of the crucifixion in your eye while pondering that magical square, you know, you might see some spears of destiny laid out. You know, you might see some Boustrophedon writing, zigzagging back and forth. Some really profound patterns will come to your eye if you focus long enough. So this is what made me walk away. When I discovered this, I realized I needed a teacher to go any further. So I'm taking you guys off to up to the edge, and it's on you if you want to jump off from here. I realized that the 1, the 6, the 2, the 7, the 3, the 8, the 4, the 9, the 5, that's a pattern. Skipping 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, back up 6, 7, 8, 9. What do you know? Let's do it over here. Skipping 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, would you look at that? What happens if we go on any random row? Let's just pick one here. Okay, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4. This pattern is repeating all throughout. And it still has perfection of ending in 45 on diagonal, horizontal, and vertical. So I went ahead and I put the 9 in a clock-like shape. And I drew a line following the numbers in order. Starting with 1, it goes to 6, then back to 2, then to 7, then to 3, then to 8, then to 4, then to 9, then to 5, and back to the 1. And if I were more geometrically inclined, that would be a much prettier star. But I think you guys get the point. What we're looking at here is the cathode, the star, the sun, the anode, the moon. Reverting back to my previous video. These patterns, this knowledge, it existed before I even learned about the magic square of the moon. It was here before I got here. This is ancient. And what I learned from this is I learned to respect our elders, to respect those who came before us, who had enough time in their day to encode, decode, and build the mythology that keeps these stories alive. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Much love, much strength. Stay focused, y'all.